It is time to finally talk about the gameplay. Immersion and world building are essential, but the heart of the experience lies in the gameplay itself. Days Gone delivers a mixed bag in this regard, offering moments of genuine thrill and excitement, tempered by some noticeable flaws. One standout gameplay element that I've already mentioned more than once is a motorcycle. Deacon is a biker, so riding around on a bike is central to the game and heavily featured in advertising. So, how is it? Well, it's good enough. The bike handles well, with satisfying drifting mechanics and the occasional thrill of jumping off ramps. It's not revolutionary, but it's solid and fun. Although, at first, the bike is not great. It's slow, breaks down easily and constantly needs refueling. This is where the game's upgrade system comes into play. As you progress, you can enhance both functionality and aesthetics, making your bike feel like a steadily evolving companion. This is a terrific concept. It's just a pity there's not as much variety as one would hope. The only thing that offers a lot of variety is paint drops, but other parts, not so much. Of course, a vital part of any third-person shooter is, well, the shooting and the enemies. Both are again good but not exceptional. Human enemies are pretty much what you'd expect from any similar game. However, I need to commend the variety. There are a bunch of different enemy types, ranging from the regular and expected, like snipers or helmeted enemies, to more unique types, like armored humans with flamethrowers, or crazy dudes that set themselves ablaze and run at you looking for a hug. It's not a very deep system, and it is balanced by the fact that enemy AI is pretty much non-existent. They don't employ any tactics, communications or strategies, always simply running at you and shooting. In general, this means that the combat gameplay is rather fun and doesn't get stale thanks to the variety. But at the same time, it's not something too special. The same goes for zombies. They also offer a good variety, including infected animals, like zombie dogs and bears. I particularly like the design of newts. These are infected human kids. Yes, it's pretty brutal. They are not notably aggressive and usually just run from you, using roofs and other high places as their safe space. They follow your footsteps as they try to assess if you are dangerous or not. They are very territorial and will attack you if you get too close or start taking their stuff. This type of enemy that exhibits more complex behaviors than just mindlessly attacking on sight creates a unique and immersive dynamic. But the true stars of the show are the swarmers. Individually, they are boring enemies that pose very little challenge, but as their name suggests, they form swarms. A dozen of them are already a lot more dangerous and fun to deal with. But what about a few dozen? What about 100? These are called hordes, and they are one of the most compelling features of the game. These encounters are where Days Gone truly shines. On lower difficulties, they may not be that dangerous, and you can start dealing with them early on. But on survival, this was out of the question. The few times I've tried, I ended up running with my tail between my legs, left with neither health nor ammo. This adds so much to the immersion. When dozens of angry zombies run at you while you're trying to kite them around, you strategically place traps and actively use the environment. These heart-pounding moments compare to nothing else. Dealing with the enemies means using weapons, of course. Melee weapons are useful and valuable at first. Then you get guns, grenades and such, so melee weapons become less effective, especially against tough zombies or swarms due to their rather low damage. However, closer to the end of the game, you can find a fully maxed out melee weapon that one-shots swarmers. The problem for me was how you get it. You don't need to craft it, beat a boss or finish a quest chain. You simply find the best melee weapon on the ground. This makes all other melee weapons in the game obsolete the moment you find this one. I'm not sure I like this design very much. Guns are quite fun, and there are plenty to choose from. I enjoyed the shooting mechanics. The addition of the focus ability makes it even more enjoyable to land precise headshots. But I have issues with the balance and progression of the system. Later, more expensive and harder to get weapons don't necessarily mean they are better. Often they have low damage, poor accuracy and limited ammo capacity, making them feel underwhelming. One of the first guns you unlock is actually really strong, precise and has a lot of ammo, so you can clear most of the game by using just it. I would say that most weapons are pretty poorly balanced. I don't mind having situational guns or the ones that are subjective. Some people will like them while others won't. But playing for hours to unlock a new gun only to find it objectively worse than the previous one is not fun. Open world activities follow the trend of being nothing outstanding but enjoyable enough. There are zombie nests to burn, bandit camps to clear, Nero research sites to loot and hordes to kill. The best part for me is that these activities are well distributed. There's just enough variety to keep things engaging without becoming a chore. The game also includes smaller tasks, like collecting tourist brochures and visiting points of interest. As I understand, these places are based on real-life locations in Oregon, which is nice to have and adds to the world building. Besides that, every survivor camp offers a number of side quests for you to accomplish, and there's a noticeable drop in quality compared to the main story. The side quests feature minimal dialogue, no cutscenes, and repetitive, uninspired tasks. For people invested in the world and characters, these missions can still provide something of interest. However, they definitely could have benefited from a more engaging design. The bigger problem is that some main story missions feel indistinguishable from these optional side quests. There are plenty where you're simply asked to kill someone, bring supplies, or clear zombies. This wasn't a problem for me, as I completed every single quest in the game regardless. But I still don't understand why they made a decision to bloat the plot like this. The obvious answer is to pad the playtime, but the main story alone, without any side quests, takes around 36 hours on average. So there is simply no need to pad the playtime like that. If the main story was 30 hours instead of 36, it would still be more than fine. As it stands, the main story feels bloated in places, with some quests existing purely to extend playtime rather than add meaningful content. For me, it seems obvious that a tighter main story focused on impactful moments would elevate the overall pacing. Days Gone is a game brimming with potential. The core gameplay loop, particularly when facing down zombie hordes, is genuinely enjoyable. The world itself feels lived in, and the motorcycle serves as a trusty companion in navigating it. It delivers moments of genuine excitement and thrill, yet some elements very much hold the experience back. A few small changes, a few polishing touches, and it could have been so much better. Maybe the developers didn't have enough time to implement everything planned, or perhaps the budget ran out. Whatever the reason, it feels like a bit more work could have made the gameplay near perfect. This was just a small slice of my deep dive into Days Gone. If you want more, you can watch my video on the game's unexpected immersiveness here. Or if it's already available, you can check out the full retrospective here. Thank you so much for all your support, I really appreciate it. See you next time.